Hello and welcome back to another one of Paul's beer reviews. Hope you're doing well today. I've got a lager, Pilsner, to review for you. It's from Bowland Brewery, who are from Clitheroe in Lancashire, up the northwest of England. This is one of the beers that was kindly sent to me by a friend of the channel, Matthew Smith. So thank you to you, buddy. Bowland Brewery's Pilsner, 4.6% ABV. Expertly crafted, effortlessly smooth, Bowland Brewery Pilsner. Also says Bavarian Lager at the bottom there. It's in a big 660ml bottle, which is always a bonus. What does it say? It says expertly crafted and effortlessly smooth. Its sweetness balanced with a light bitterness, delicately hopped, clear and light. It's the epitome of a thirst-quenching Pilsner lager. Contains barley and wheat. It says the wheat may contain oats and rye. There you go. Don't say a lot else, to be honest with you. But it's really cold. Just got it out of the fridge. I'm right in the mood for a lager. So we'll see if this one's any good, shall we? I'll get this cap off. This is not gripping these caps lately. Time for a new beer cap opener. Get it into a glass. Oh, wow. That looks, just on the pour there, that looks crystal clear. Aggressive pour, so you don't get a head on it. Bit of a head. See that there, something. See it? I like the design. Classic. Looks like a wine bottle, if anything, doesn't it? Quite like that. But there's the beer in the glass. Loads of carbonation. Condensation is blocking that, but look at that. Loads of carbonation rushing up the middle of the glass there. But yeah, other than that, she is it's so cold, the condensation is probably steaming up the glass. Other than that, that is pretty clear. There is the slightest bit of a haze to it, very slight, but other than that, that is a pure gold looking lager. It it looks as what you'd expect it to look, really. It's got half a finger, slightly creamy looking, tight white head on it. Let's get me snouting. See what aroma we're going to get. Is it going to be more of a Pilsner style or is it going to be more of a lager style? On the aroma, it says it's going to be more of a lager style. It smells really, really light, slightly sweet. Slight sweet malty aroma. Slight grassy aroma to it as well. It smells very fresh. Yeah, sweet malt, bit of a grassy note, tiniest bit of a lemon. It smells, you know, like a run-of-the-mill lager, really, but not a bad one. I'm going to say that. It smells all right. I like that bit of sweetness to it. Let's get stuck in. Cheers. Ooh. It's very sweet. Really, really, that sweet malt really comes through. It mentioned on the bottle, its sweetness. There is a distinct sweetness to this lager. It's almost like a honey vibe. Got a bit of honey sweetness been added to it. I'm not sure how they've done that. Carbonation is quite gentle, considering how lively it looks in the glass. The carbonation on the tongue is actually quite subtle. It's quite gentle. It's like quite an easy drinking beer, this. It's pretty good. Bit of lacing on the glass, sticking around. So that carbonation is not going anywhere. It's full of life. It's very, very clean. It's got a lovely, light, thin bodied, as you'd expect. Not much in the way of dryness at the back end, so it's definitely a lager as opposed to a Pilsner. But when it says Pilsner directly underneath the brewery there, and it then says Bavarian Lager at the bottom, it doesn't taste like many Bavarian lagers I've had before, and it doesn't have the dryness of a Pilsner. But what it is a perfectly decent and perfectly drinkable English lager. Nice and light, thin-bodied, gentle carbonation. Bit of the sweetness comes in there from the malt, mid-palate. A bit of sweetness. Once that carbonation dies down, you're left with a sweet, malty, slightly citrusy, slightly floral flavour. And it's tasty. It's nice. It's really refreshing. The finish, well, there isn't much of one, if I'm honest. It's all the carbonation, the mouthfeel, your palate kind of comes to terms with that, the lightness of the body. And then when that carbonation just sort of dies down, you're then left with that sweet malt flavour. And at the end, there's a very slight creamy sort of, I'd say more of a texture rather than flavour. It kind of coats the palate. And he said there's wheat in it. And I think that's the effect of the wheat in the brew, the wheat malts. It has a slightly full finish to it. Not in the flavour, but in the body. It really kind of clings to your palate. It's slightly creamy. It's very drinkable. It's very clean. It's very nicely made. It's the sort of thing I could polish off a few of on a really nice sunny afternoon. It's a very nicely made lager. It's just, for me, it's not sure what it is. It's just not sure what it's trying to do. It would have been nice to have had a little bit of a hoppy bitterness at the back end. It would have been nice for there to have been a bit of dryness at the back end. Like I say, it's caught in two minds as to what this beer wants to do. It's not sure if it's a lager, it's not sure if it's a Pilsner, and it kind of does something sort of somewhere in the middle, you know? But they've totally missed the finish. No bitterness, no hoppy bitterness to speak of. No dryness to speak of. It's all about the malt. There's a very distinct, sweet, malty character to this beer. It's very refreshing. So I like the sort of the low carbonation to it. Makes it very drinkable. It's not particularly gassy. It's not particularly filling. It's the sort of thing you could polish off a few of. So in that sense, I like it. But it's not doing anything to kind of stick itself in my mind. Once this beer is gone, it's the sort of thing I probably won't think back on too fondly, you know. That sounds bad, but it's not a bad beer. It's just a bit forgettable, you know. It's pleasant enough though. I would drink it again. I imagine a fresh pint of this on keg up at the Bowland Brewery would be fantastic on a beautiful summer's afternoon here in England. I think that would be just a job. But there are a lot better lagers out there, a lot better Pilsners out there, let's have it right. But I like it. I like it. And I like it enough to give it, I'll be generous. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I do like it. It's just a bit forgettable. It's just a bit one-dimensional. But Bowland Brewery with their Pilsner, 7 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this review. Give it a thumbs up if you have. Until my next one, you take care.